This is the ETBU Coaches Show, your home for all things ETBU athletics related. Mark T. Robinson here with him, his basketball coach, Brandon Curran. This show is also brought to you by our folks down at Hometown Tire. But, Coach, you guys had two very hard-fought games this last week against your rivals, LeTourneau University, and just kind of talk about, some of the things as a coach you're looking out there on the court. Just talk about some of the things you saw out there from your team against the Yellow Jackets this weekend.
Yeah. Well, number one, hats off to LeTourneau. I thought they played two really, really good games and did a lot of things really, really well. I thought the game at LeTourneau, incredible atmosphere. I thought our guys responded really well, had a deficit early, were able to battle back, take a lead in the second half, and do a lot of things to give ourselves a chance to win, and just came up a little bit short. And then turn around and have to play them on Saturday, have to bounce back from the emotion of that game and the effort of that game to play another good game on Saturday. And I thought our guys did a really good job making some improvements and doing things better. I thought our box outs were tremendously better from Thursday night. We missed a ton in that game Thursday night, really cost us. And then also thought defensively we did a better job on Saturday, and then was really, really excited about the production of Ahmad Caldwell stepping in and giving us some great minutes, bringing great energy. I thought he just brought a really big-time energy to the floor and on the glass. And then also to Cody Hunter, the freshman, that stepped in and got some major minutes in a big game for the first time. And, if those guys can continue to step in and contribute, it really adds to our depth. And I think it'll help us a lot going down the stretch.
Absolutely. And just kind of talk about, how tough that kind of makes. You're matching up with, your rivals. And you got to play them Thursday, then turn around and play them Saturday. Just kind of talk about that little dynamic of how weird it is in the schedule for you guys.
Yeah, well, when we're coaching in Division II, Lone Star Conference always had rivalry week where they did that. You played your travel partner back-to-back. And so very similar to that. And it's a challenge. It's always hard to beat a team twice during the regular season anyway. To have to play somebody back-to-back, it takes away from preparation a little bit because you don't have a different scout to do on Saturday, but it's just a different mindset. It's kind of like a NBA playoff mindset.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a challenge, but it's also a lot of fun, and thought we had an incredible crowd here on Saturday night. The atmosphere was great, true college basketball atmosphere, and I know the guys really enjoyed that, so it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And you guys just kind of talking about, where you're kind of standing right now in the ASC standings. It's a three-way tie. You, LeTourneau, UTD. So if anything, is that something you guys kind of have in the back of your minds going into these last 6 games, or is it just business as usual for ETBU men's team?
Well, our players, I'm sure that they look at the standings and know where we are. But it's just a growth mindset where we're just trying to get better. Our word for the day yesterday was growth, and yesterday before practice we met as a team, and really those 2 losses, it's really the first adversity that we've really faced this year in terms of an outcome not going the way that we had hoped. And so we actually gathered in the locker room, and I wrote on the board 5 scores from a team, and it was like 65 to 72, 61 to 71, 59 to 65, and then another one was 71 to 86, and then another score. And I just asked the guys, y'all know what this is? And of course, they were, no. Well, this is the score. This team, this was their score against Iowa State last year. This was their score against Baylor last year. This was their score against Kansas State last year. In January, they lost 3 games in a row. Then 2 weeks later, they lost by 16 to Kansas. And then 2 weeks later, they lost to a struggling West Virginia team in the first round of the Big 12 tournament. That was Texas Tech. They get to the national championship game. Then I had another one, 71 to 72, 71 to 81, 59 to 65. This was Virginia's score losing to Duke in conference play. This is Virginia's score losing to Duke again in conference play. And this is Virginia's score losing to Florida State in the first round of the conference tournament. That's the University of Virginia, national champions. And then there were 3 more. The team had lost 2 of their last 3 games. Their last game, they got beat by 20, got blown out. That was Wisconsin Oshkosh, last year's Division III national champion. These games are just part of our journey. Those games were part of their journey. So we need to come out yesterday, today, tomorrow, focus on what we need to do to get better from what did we learn from Laterno? What did they teach us about ourselves? What do we need to do to get better? And let's have great enthusiasm, great effort, great energy, because right now that can be hard. You're a little bit discouraged. You might be a little bit frustrated. We're tired because it's February. We just came off 2 losses. Let's just focus on what we need to do to get better, and let's get ready to go play Ozarks. And so we've really not focused on standings or anything like that. We don't even really talk about the goal of winning a championship. We talk a lot about your best attitude, your best effort, your best execution, and trying to get better. So we're just going to continue to do that.
And the thing that I want to say is interesting was having a conversation about this just before you guys played Laterno is that, you know, as a team and as a coach, when you lose games, sometimes, in a lot of ways it helps you out because now you can see exactly what your team has to work on. In a way you get to see, you know, some things you can fine tune in a lot of ways that you don't really see when you're constantly winning. So in a way, has this really helped out your team as far as preparation going forward for you guys?
Well, I think as a coach, that's the challenge. I thought after the Wisconsin-Stevens Point loss, I thought we got a lot better. And I think that the hardest thing when you're winning is to battle complacency, both from your players and as coaches. And one thing that I've noticed is as you're winning, you can get caught up in preparing for the next game. Like getting the scout ready, trying to prepare for the types of things that you're going to have to guard, and your focus can just get slightly off. What are the core foundational things that make our team successful? And so I told our team, I am committed to every Friday and every Monday morning, I am going to watch the game film from the night before. So whether or not we win or whether we lose, we're going to watch the film and we're going to make sure that we're doing the things that ETBU basketball does on a foundational level to be successful. And I think it's so easy to like disregard. Like we played Louisiana College and we won by 1. Let's get ready for Belhaven. And you miss out on, there were a billion things to learn from Louisiana College. Or you beat Belhaven and it's like, okay, let's get ready for Laterno. But there's a million things to learn from that Belhaven game. And I think it's easy this time of year to start focusing on your next opponent and your scout and lose focus on yourself. And I think we did that somewhat. I know the Louisiana College game, I only watched the first half on Saturday before that game. And I just thought, man, it's really easy to get off. It's really easy to like just lose that focus. And so that's something we're committed to. So Thursday morning we watched the Laterno game first time, went out, tried to get better, thought we did. Yesterday morning we watched Laterno from Saturday night. I think our guys got a lot better yesterday in practice. We're going to continue to do that today.
Absolutely, and it's very well spoken, if I do say so myself, Coach. But just kind of moving on here to some of your players, and like I said a couple weeks ago, again in another conversation, really love the makeup of this team. Really love how your guys approach the game, the different skill sets that kind of come into what you guys do well. Yeah. And one of the players that's kind of a part of that fold for you guys that I really love is Nathan Fontenot. He's one of those guys that when you come in, you know he's going to bring not only the hard determination, but he's going to give you some highlight plays as well. Mm-hmm. We were on SportsCenter just this past week, so I wouldn't be surprised if the men's team ends up on there at the end of one of his crossovers or something like that. So just kind of talk about his dynamic and what things that he brings that makes this team that much better.
Yeah, well, he's an extremely talented player, and he's a guy that can really get going, making shots, as we've seen so many times. But he also will step in and make big plays for us defensively. You know, against Louisiana College, he chased down a loose ball and just laid out and dove on it and helped seal that win. Against Belhaven, Chris Haynes laid out, dove on a loose ball, actually missed it. They grab it, make a rotation pass. Nate makes the plays in the rotation, makes play, gets a steal. It was a huge play for us during the game. And so it's been a lot of fun to watch him be able to step in and come off the bench in those situations and make huge plays. Does a great job of it, and excited to see what we can do going forward.
Absolutely, and kind of the reason why I kind of bring his name up too as well is because you guys are going to be matching up with UTD and Ozarks on this next trip. But first, you're taking on Ozarks here on Thursday. So last time you played them, it was a grind-out type of performance. Even though you won by 16, didn't really feel that way. But going into this matchup, you know, what are some of the things you learned from the last time you guys played this team?
Well, they're good. They're good. They execute really well. Their guards can make plays and can make shots, and so we've we've got to get ready. Their offense is very similar to UT Dallas, so it's kind of nice. The prep for both games is not extremely different other than personnel. Yeah, they're a really good team, and we've got to be ready to play, and they're really good at home. And it feels like from top to bottom, the East is just loaded. It's going to be a battle every single night. So we know it's going to be difficult. We know it's going to be a challenge, but we'll be ready to go.
Absolutely. And thank you once again, Coach, for joining us here on the Coaches Show. You can keep up to date with all things ETBU sports related. Just visit us at GoETBTigers.com or follow us on social media at GoETBTigers. Once again, Mark T. Robinson, head men's basketball coach Brandon Curran. We'll see you guys again next time.